All right, welcome out to Echo Park Speedway or Atlanta Motor Speedway. Practice is currently underway. We are getting ready to get everything going for what will be the sponsor cutoff race of the season. We are halfway into the season once we hit the checkered flag here, and we'll be setting our sights and getting set up for the final 12 races of the season and 4 races after this to set up for the chase for the championship. We got clouds on the way. It's currently, you can see them in the distance there off of turns 1 and 2. We expect to see them completely cover the track here on this hot Atlanta afternoon. It's 86 degrees today, and it's expected to be hot and humid throughout this afternoon. Humidity is going to wrap up as soon as those clouds start reaching their way over to the racetrack. We have 47 cars entered in for this race this weekend, and all of them get to race. That's right, we're at a super speedway now. This is what the track is. So this is one of the open tracks. Talladega will not, because it is in the chase. So our second one will be here at Atlanta. The rotation track. We switch this track out every single season with Texas Motor Speedway, and so we don't have 2 super speedways in the chase. Whenever Texas is the championship, Talladega or Daytona, Talladega will be in the chase. So it is this season, and since Atlanta is not the championship, it is out here in place of where Talladega will be the previous year and this year. So here we are. Gotta love those date flips. Changes up the championship and keeps it interesting. We got about 13 minutes left of practice. They had 45 in total. Chevrolet's looking quick so far this afternoon. Chris Davis is on point in the number 06. He's on pit road right now making some adjustments to that race car. Lizzie Wesley sitting there in third as well. Now, of course, a lot of these runs, we're going to be seeing them. They are in drafts, and that's going to be very important this afternoon. We saw that last night, how important it was to stay with the pack. And the cars are trimmed out, so they got that lower aero package in the back end. Cars are much lower to the ground. They got a taller rear spoiler, different rear spoiler. Nice package out here. So we'll see. A couple different paint schemes are out on the field as well, and a new driver. That's right. Following the previous race, Brad Smith has decided it's time to hang it up. A mutual agreement was met with TXS Racing. They got a new driver that they're bringing in. We'll show him here in a second. But Brad Smith, who's been around since 2019, he was a driver for Best in the World Racing, which was a Penske satellite team in the 2019 season. Raced with drivers like Kenny Bambura and another one I'm forgetting. He drove the red car. I'd have to pull up the season stats to see who was in that racing machine, the third teammate. But he was there with Kenny Bambura, all of them in their rookie season for 2019. 6 years of competition, 5.5 of competition, and Brad Smith has decided that enough is enough. He wasn't having the best season, was frustrated, the team was frustrated, drivers around him were frustrated, and he said that now is a good time to hang it up. But in his replacement, and with the renumber as well, so effectively a team rebrand is what's taking place, and it's now Justin Franklin making his debut out of the Pro Series. Will be driving the number 25 this weekend. This is the same number 30 team out of TXS. So we'll see what he does in this car. It's got the Grip Factory Grip Chassis sponsored up on this car. It looks very similar to Eugene Hawk's number 88. But if this is a Toyota versus that one being a Chevrolet. There is the Eugene Hawk car as well. So main difference is going to end up being the numbers that are on that car are white instead of green, and the different manufacturer. There we go. We're fixing some sounds. Still getting things ready. Should be a fun race. 117 laps over the 150 lap race. Yes, this is a shorter race. We don't race out the super speedways for quite too long with the Premier Series. Alright, again, if you're just joining us, we're getting to the end of practice here. On pit road, still making some adjustments after running out for quite a bit of the time. It's Chris Davis, not too far off behind. It's Weisbecker, Wesley, Cannon, Yoakum, Abby Jones, Sammy Cobb, Aaron Douglas, Dylan Touchton, and Rob Kreider. Welcome to the booth. Feels like a race car. You're very late. The 25's on track. We're unmuted. Uh-huh. I have the video saved of you doing the math.
Oh, we talking about practice. We're not even during the race. Okay, we're safe.
Yeah, there's still 4 minutes, then we roll into quali. We're on NASCAR style of green.
All right. All right. I'm awake. I'm awake. We're all right. I'm awake. Shush.
Right. and welcome everybody out to what is now known as Echo Park Speedway. It's me and Adam in the booth for the Quaker State 175, continuing on the FARCA Premier Series 10th Anniversary Tour here in the 2025 season. It's a nice hot day, hot summer day, well, about to be summer, here in Atlanta. We're looking at temperatures reaching anywhere up to 86 degrees, and we got clouds on the way, so that may cool off or just get even more humid for these cars out here. It's a crucial sponsor contract race. That means all sponsors on every single vehicle will renew at the conclusion of this race, whether they get promotions, decide to terminate contracts, or whatever it may be. That's going to be decided here today. Last night we saw a three-car battle between Adam, Connor, and Trevor, all going for the win. Adam won just 6/100ths of a second over Connor Mir, and looking to sweep the weekend in that number 40 K&N machine. 5 races left, including this one, to the chase for the championship, but we got 14 cars that will race and will crown a champion in just 13 races time. And we got 11 different winners heading into this race, this being the 12th race of the season. Will we see another one? Who's going to take the big oil trophy away from this thing? We got a nice big green jug of oil for whoever may need it for their race machine. And it's time to go through the starting lineup of the race, and we will have the Mr. Man himself. Adam, why don't you take us away for the starting lineup of the race?
Well, on pole is Aaron Douglas from the 97 Rockstar Recovery Toyota Camry for Western Auto Racing. I believe this is his second pole of the season, and he'll be starting the inside of Brandon Carrasta for the Rush Truck Center Chevrolet out of Procrastination.
And then it's Makoto Kino at Tier 1 Motorsports number 33. She'll be starting next to Ryan DeLusso in the number 2.
And of course, they are in front of Lizzie Wesley and Chris Davis, 2 Chevrolets out of an alliance teams between Procrastination and Davis Motorsports.
It's Andy Bewley in the 84, starting next to Demon Deacon Jones. And that Revolution Sprint Motorsports, Lowe's Cobalt 28.
And then we have a pair of Halloween cars, the black and orange machines out of, the Dale and Touchton Mustang RTR Ford Mustang starts the inside of Adam Douglas and the K&N Auto Filter Chevrolet for Revolution Sprint Motorsport.
And then there's the IRM number 4 of Austin Yoko starting next to the Elite 77. That's Sammy Cobbs. They're starting P12 in row number 6.
And they'll be in front of the 72 Verizon Chevrolet out of the Team Motorsports camp, who starts the inside of Greg Graziano for Douglas Motorsports.
Then we got a pair of MGR machines. It's Jeff Cannon starting in the number 15th spot. Starts next to Justin Osborne in the new colors of the Love's number 79 machine.
And they'll be starting in front of Ab Jones in the number 10 Chronic Understeer Motorsports Ford Mustang, starts the inside of Dylan Young with Nextwick for Western Auto Racing.
And then we got Arthur Xavier in that number 87, starts next to not newcomer, but new to the series, Justin Franklin, making the debut in that number 25 machine, and that is a Toyota, not a Chevy.
Yeah, Franklin raced for Supreme Motorsports at Daytona, and he's making the move to TXS with the suspension and release of Brad Smith. And they'll be starting ahead of David McMillan for Western Auto Racing, who starts next to Jay Langelier for Reckless Racing.
And then it's the number 26, that's Noah Patwary, and the Castro Ford starts next to Quinn Izzo and the 15.
And they will be ahead of the 38 car for out of Rob Kreider, Double Nickel 9 Motorsports, starts the inside of Connor Mir.
That's Nick Fountain in the 39, starting next to Tim Salmon in the 51.
They're ahead of Brett Pritchard for Ariel Motorsports, who starts the inside of Timmy Weathers for Walsh Enterprises.
Andrew Weisbecker starting next to Daniel Quinones.
Then we have Rob McPherson and Zach McAdoo.
And Caitlin Muir in the 92, Dakota Cottle in the number 5.
They're going to be ahead of Joseph Ernesto and David Walsh.
It's Kenny Mumborough and Mariah Douglas, 2 Rebel cars.
Then we have Tom Jones, 46 for Tom Brad Development, and Eugene Hawk.
And then it's Brad Hughes and Travis Dawson.
We have Elias Nassar and Marissa Miranda.
And rounding out the field in the 47th spot is the number 75 of Joshua Lockhart. "47 cars, 117 laps around Echo Park Speedway. Waiting for the pace car to dip down, and then the number 97 of Aaron will be waiting to see the green flag.
I'm picking the 40 car to win.
Going for the 40. Green flag's in the air. We're underway.
Aaron has picked the 33 car. Makoto Kino.
I don't know if I'm going to go with Makoto Kino. I don't necessarily know who I want to pick. Actually, I do know who I want to pick. I'm going to go with Dylan Touchton. I'm picking the IRM Ford for this one.
Oh, he's already moving to the inside, trying to get around the 27 and 40 car.
97 struggled after that initial start. Sorry to mow over you there.
No, it's all right. And it looks like the outside lane is getting going a little bit stronger this time with a bunch of Chevrolets up there.
And Makoto Kino will lead the first lap in the DeWalt Chevrolet. Chevy's looking strong here on this initial start. Top four, all of them.
Deacon Jones goes to the lead with Liz Wesley in tow.
Two brightly colored white or silver, blue Chevrolets up here, and they're getting bullied there by Andy Vealey, making a quick move there to the inside in the Dutch Brothers 84.
Andy Vealey likes the drafting tracks. Already has a win at Daytona with the. I believe she's only led like 2 laps in that race.
I want to fact check that. She actually lost that race to Richie Mancha. That was a tie at the finish line at Daytona a couple
Andy Vealey
years
won
ago.
this Daytona.
That's right. So Rebel Racing, really good at these drafting tracks, and Strong Force started off immediately.
Yeah, it looks like the 28 car might have an iron grip on this lead right now. Chris Davis is going to be a sister setup car to the 28.
Keep an eye.
They got it in alliance.
Keep an eye on that Kohler 06 because that was the fastest car in practice, both in draft and in terms of raw pace. A lot of speed built into that 06 car. A driver who's making some big moves already so far this race, up about 4 positions there on my radar, is Adam Douglas in the number 40. Won the race last night. He can do it again.
Yeah, they may not have the best car today, but they certainly are trying to get a little bit of luck to go their way.
As long as you can keep the drafting and be controlling with the point like what we're seeing Lizzie Wesley do here, should be just fine. Strategy is going to be a little different tonight. These cars, a little bit different bodies than the Pro Series, and for sure different engines. They actually anticipate 2 stops for this race with the slightly longer distance and the worse fuel economy that these things get. We expect to see them down anywhere around lap 50, and then lap 100 is the estimated pit cycle for these cars.
Yeah, but what we've seen is that a lot of cars like to short pit, and so we may actually have people prefer to come as early as lap 30 or lap 40.
We have seen that in the past, especially with the Toyotas. They were doing some weird strategy, and it almost worked for them at Daytona. We'll see if that happens again here tonight. Deluso up to the point. The Chronic Understeer Motorsports CSX Ford. Saw Abby Jones there kind of splitting 3 wide. Came to a grip there and made the pass on the 72. Got Justin Franklin down at the bottom. 2 new drivers in the sport racing next to each other.
Ryan DeLusso is now in the lead over Lizzie Wesley down the back straightaway.
They got the lead a couple laps ago. Lizzie had a peak there again, trying to retake it, but not enough. Squirrely car actually coming into the tri-oval is Lizzie Wesley's machine.
See, Chris Davis is trying to draft up to the back of the 36 to help her back into the lead.
Chevys and Fords lined up. We didn't see too many manufacturer games really being played last night. I don't think we're going to see that really here at this track.
Yeah, it's just gonna matter if the fastest guys can get together and pull away from the field so they can fight amongst themselves. A little bit of strategy that we saw last night with some of the faster guys getting together, saying, "Hey, you know, if we just stay in line and work together for a little bit, we can get away from everyone else and then just fight amongst ourselves."
Chris Davis had a peak there at the lead, not enough to secure or complete the pass. That's what we saw further back here in the pack. Got a little bit of a second pack being split up with Weisbecker on back. This is quite literally half.
Yeah, it seems like these cars just don't really have the horsepower. Something's up with the 41 car on the straightaways. It just doesn't have any of the pace.
Not the best of days there, and even looks swirly. Might be having a lot of handling issues with that machine. We'll see what that turns into later on throughout the race. Meanwhile, we got a Greg Graziano who is up 11, now 12 spots from where he started. Focus Motorsports Chevrolet SS looking pretty quick.
There was a short breakaway up at the front, but it looks like more cars in the middle of the pack are closing in on the leaders now.
That's being led by Arthur Xavier, teammate to Greg Graziano. And he's pulling along his Western Auto Racing affiliate team behind him. He also has his teammate right behind. That's Dylan Young. Actually, pretty much all the Western Auto cars are in a group right here. Aaron, Dylan, and Jacob are all in a group here. So we'll see what they're able to do. Adam throwing a block on his own brother there. Joins the inside line.
Just wants some help.
Maybe so. Trying to get that bottom lane rolling, but the Fords up here are kind of in a mess. That's actually allowing them to get separated because they are so disorganized.
Well, they just put a lap on Joshua Lockhart, and Lockhart had to pick the outside lane, which kind of broke these guys up. So,
and Lockhart's struggling in that number 75. He is way off the pace in that Benato Sport 75.
Yeah, that's going to hold up the 28 of Deacon Jones.
We'll be catching these two Noon Racing cars here pretty soon. Both of those just not making speed, not making horsepower.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to work together to get whatever pace they can.
See, there they are off in turns 3 and 4 while we're on the backstretch with the leaders right here. Dylan Touchton, my pick for the IRM machine, working out pretty quick. But he's got a horde of Chevys behind before he has any help. See Sammy Cobb in the double coin, number 77 out there. He's working that top lane. He's that yellow and black numbered 77. The IRM's usually pretty good about keeping their cars together, but Pritchard's mired back in that second pack. And I'm not too there's Yoakum in the background, so he's in the top 15 at least.
Looks like the 40 car was able to stay with the front of the field, unlike the 28.
97's a little bit further back. Didn't lose it either. He's got Graziano right behind him.
It is our pole sitter.
All right, we're about to catch
97,
these noon cars, so we'll
trying a
see
different strategy.
what happens here.
The leaders are trying to sort it amongst themselves so that way they could be in line when they catch him.
Lizzie's got a really good chance here. And actually, Dylan Touchton being smart here and backing off, allowing the chance for the leaders to make a decision here. Good strategy to not get caught up. Just like what's going on right now.
Yeah, well, the one car is kind of just picking the middle and not really being smart about this.
Yeah, they're not letting him go. In fact, actually, the one just blocked the number 33, Makoto Kino. That's going to stall that outside lane. And now they're actually going to stall both of these lanes. That's just kind of foolish by the two noon cars. Now,
That's just going to allow Lizzie Wesley to pull away on her own.
now, normally, you'd be a sitting duck in this situation.
So Jacob McMillan's going to try to force it 3 wide here, which is a good move, really, just to try to get him out of the way.
Blue flags
The
being
inside lane
pointed
moving.
at both of the cars. FARCA officials telling the noon cars to either pick a lane and get out of the way or risk black flag. And the one car has moved down to the inside here. The 8 actually drastically backs off of it. So we'll see what happens here. Drivers now begin the funnel.
It's a poor decision by the Newton cars, I think.
Yeah, in terms of competition, that's just not something you want to do. You don't want to be hogging up leaders like this. They're trying to run the race. It's going to break up this whole pack. Wesley's just kind of a sitting duck now. She will lose this lead once the cars catch up.
We saw in the Pro Series that once you had the draft, there was like this bubble effect once you started getting closer to the cars. It pushed both cars forward, but it was really rare to have actual contact with bump drafting.
It was like, yeah, it was like 10 when drafting, but with a buffer, an invisible buffer. It was fun and interesting. All right, so here's the first driver to catch back up from the rudeness of the noon racing cars. We should see a field reforming here now.
Yeah, I think Makoto Kino's smartly going to the outside of the 36 to try to help the field catch back up. See, Makoto's not really trying to draft off Lizzie at all. Chevrolets occupy your top 3. Aaron Douglas, the big head of steam, is going to try to go around the 06 car. Chris Davis down the front straightaway. Doesn't really have any help on the 97. It's going to need that to make any kind of run go his way, as he's just going to tuck in line.
A couple of big movers starting to come up on our radar. Arthur Xavier and Jay Langelier have entered into the top 10, and they've also brought Justin Franklin with them.
Langelier was able to use the noon cars as a little bit of help to make it through the field. He was one of the first cars to clear that. They're pretty confident with their Ford Mustang for today. It's one of the better cars that Jay's had all this season. Of course, he won earlier this year at Michigan, another drafting track.
Something all the more special, too, that Jay's got riding on the back of his mind. So the last time we were here, Benjamin Thomas scored his final race win to end the season out and tied Noah Patwari in the championship.
And of course, this would be the same car as the 6 team with our late friend Ben Thomas, and so this whole team is going to know better about the drafting tracks than most of the other teams around the circuit. And they felt like they still have a really strong package throughout the season. I mean, they weren't entirely confident about the Michigan race, but they came out on top and decided, hey, you know, we really got something going for us here. I think that was Jay's second career victory. As he follows Ryan DeLusso, moves to the inside line now to follow the 40 car, trying to push Adam around the 36. And that's going to be successful.
Adam will lead his first lap of the race. Yet another
Got to
Chevrolet
find a way around the 46.
Now, I would have thought Tom was actually going to try and help out Langelier there. Unless Jay may actually use Tom as a drafting partner here. But Eugene's going to do the same thing with Brad.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where the energy is right now with these two cars. They got a little bit more speed than the noon racing cars, but still off the pace. You see Brad doesn't really have the handling, got tight on the exit of the corner. The 40's going to try to go to the inside of the 7.
Kind of moved half a lane down. That was a signal to Jay. Hey, I'm trying to move down. I'm trying to move down. Jay was kind enough to give him room in here that I can continue.
Oh, I wouldn't go to the outside here, Adam.
He's trying to work with Eugene. That's
Eugene.
why.
I don't think the 88's got speed this race.
Nah, he was trying to help out a friend. Car's going to look really similar when the 25 goes past it. Just ahead of these two, they're also going to have Marissa Miranda in the 32 machine up ahead as well. Be interesting to see once this pit window opens what they're going to end up deciding to do.
I got Chevys working together now. Aaron Douglas is with them. This might be more of the strategy that I was thinking, where we're going to get allies working together to try to pull away.
Well,
this is more of the group that I was expecting.
The Chevys tried to do that here, but the Toyota of that number 97, Aaron caught on to that and followed them right through on that outside lane.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect out of the Douglas brothers. So they'd be trying to link up and help each other. Yeah, I think if the 19 was up front, we'd see Dylan Young working with them too.
Yeah, Aaron was really frustrated last night. It felt like he had a really fast race car, but was broke away from the draft with about 15 to go. Was very vocal on the radio. So hopefully this might be a chance for him very early on in the race, but we'll see what will happen towards the end.
Yeah, and I think going back to that, Adam wished that he would have just backed off and when it picked up the 97, just rode it out. If they could have caught back up to the front two, they would have, but I think there's just growing pains now that they're working at separate teams.
And here they are, working together. Where have we seen this before?
Yeah, and that leaves Chris Davis and Lizzie Wesley on the outside of them here as the Douglas brothers work on the inside. They're approaching Joshua Lockhart again.
As the Benazzo Sports 75 Alliance partner team with Team Motorsport, and that's going to help out that outside lane.
Yeah, Adam's going to have to wait for the 97.
I think Aaron
goes to the outside.
Was going to check up there, but just didn't. 40's trying to commit to this. Not really.
The 75 is just blocking the 40.
That's unfortunate.
He's just going everywhere that the 40's going. The one thing that you're supposed to do as a lap car is be predictable, and that's not what Lockhart's doing at all.
Got a lot of black, orange, and yellow cars right here.
I see, like, everywhere the 40 goes to pass the 75 is following. It's letting everybody else go.
And that's going to continue to let Adam drop and drop.
See, the 40's going to go to the outside, the 75's going to follow.
That might be a penalty coming to the 75's way if he doesn't see the position here. And it looks like he finally will. Sure, Adam will be on the radio calling for that penalty already as well. Because he's definitely going to be frustrated inside that race car about that. 75 continues to block. I know he's trying to pick up some draft here, but
the fuel gremlins might be solved now for the field. Because, I mean, we've seen that cars haven't been able to go very deep into the fuel run so far this year, but now we're approaching lap 40 this time. We'd hope to see the whole distance, 50, 60 laps.
Yeah, I'm predicting right around lap 48, maybe 46, we'll have our first peak of a car coming down on pit road. And that should be enough to turn this into a two-stop race. I would be really surprised if we saw a driver try and one-stop this one. It was very possible in the Pro Series. I don't think it's possible in this series. And our pole sitter trying to go for the lead here. The lone Toyota up front. Next Toyota is in 15th. It's Justin Franklin. And trying to lead a lap in this race as well. Will be denied by Lizzie Wesley at the line. I think the sim actually gave that one to Aaron, but I am not too sure. That was 0-0 across the board between the two. Big loose out of the corner there for Dylan Touchton, but he keeps it underneath him. And credit to Adam. Did not lose the draft after the pack got separated from their lapped cars. He is still up here with these lead cars.
And Deacon Jones leads the second group that's 4 seconds back now.
Aaron gets that lap led, and I think that's the first lap led by Toyota all race long. Yeah, that second pack further back here. And look who's working his way up. Haven't mentioned him much yet this race. Brett Pritchard up to 12th now.
Our Pritchard's trying to work some points. Trying to get some ground made up, but the car that's leading the points is right in front of him, so there isn't too much to gain from where he wants to be.
Yeah, they're separated by just
win that regular
14
season championship.
points. And that regular season championship is going to be very important because pole positions are worth 1 point. Wins are worth 5 points, and there's no repeat winners in the first 11 races, so all those winners that are in the chase are going to get 5 bonus points. But you win the regular season championship, that's 10 points. That's huge.
Yeah, currently Deacon's got 14 points on Brett Pritchard, which is effectively 14 positions on the racetrack.
A little bit different in this series. It depends on the finishing position. So at where they are currently, that's worth about 7 spots. We heavily reward the winners in this series. This could be a matter of both of these two finishing 1-2, but going to Pritchard over Deacon, and then Pritchard has the race lead. So the further up that these two get, the more significant those gaps become. And
They're gaining time on the leader, but it's just ever so slightly as the 97 takes the lead up front.
Battling with Andy Bewley up between this top and lower lane. Bewley, once again, we're talking about a Rebel Racing car up front. I haven't seen the other two cars of Mariah and Kenny Bambura. I'm actually kind of, where are
we got
these
Kenny
two
Bambura
drivers?
up ahead of us.
So yeah,
Bambura's
look at
right
that.
ahead of us.
He's about to go a lap down, and Mariah's not too far ahead of them in the turtle wax. She's the only one racing a different colored car. So 2 Fords up here. I expect them to be a little nicer to their Ford brethren, and they're going to immediately let Andy Bewley go by. At least the first one. Her teammate is ahead in the inverse car. Aaron trying to use her own teammate as a pick on the 2 cars that he owns. Andy moves down in a smart move to defend. And we may have our first one. David Walsh on lap 44 brings this thing down. That was about 2 laps off. So we'll see what the rest of the field ends up trying to do. We're seeing more Toyotas. So once again, the trend of early Toyotas, as 3 of them have now all pitted, make that 4. Teammate Justin Osborne as well, coming down on pit road. So I would like to keep an eye on the 97, because that'll be a cue of when they will possibly come down. Now this is going to be an interesting place to pit at, because you have to enter and exit from the backstretch. So you go 2 laps down when you pit here.
We might be seeing the 97 this time. It kind of blends up the racetrack. They do dip rather late. The 97's coming this time.
There it is. So we're seeing Toyotas come early, once again making their early strategy. This wasn't a thing that they pulled off in the earlier super speedway race, but it also bit them. So we'll see what ends up happening here with these early stops.
It worked at Michigan. It did not work in Nashville.
Another one down. Justin Franklin, the number 25. All Toyotas have been the ones to pit so far. Ryan DeLusso from Chronic Understeer Motorsports is leading this thing.
Working with Makoto Kino. And of course, DeLusso does have a teammate this race in Abby Jones.
That is the number 10 car, and a partnership and alliance with Tom Brad Development. She was pretty good in practice, did okay in qualifying. And currently sits in the 17th spot, as we got more cars coming down, and guess what? They are all Toyota.
Yeah, so they're going to be firm on a 2-stop strategy this race. So we'll see where they stack out when it does cycle through. As the 40's got a big head of steam on the leaders right now.
Yep, making a huge move.
It might come to haunt them. They're going to want to get below this one car before the turn. It's not going to happen. The 40's going to get stuck behind the one. Oh, we got a slow car on the front straightaway, it looked like.
And yes,
Somebody
caution is out.
Apron.
Caution is out. I'm not sure. It's Nick Fountain running out of fuel, it sounds like.
Oh, we got a couple cars that are slow on the back stretch right here with the 15.
Yes, that was Nick Fountain running out of fuel.
Might have just been a Toyota that couldn't make it to pits. They might just not have the fuel mileage that the other 2 cars have.
Yeah, they got a problem going on in the Toyota camp. First caution of the night is at lap 50 out of 117. Wave rounds will be given out.
Yeah, that's going to be rough for Nick Fountain. Of course, he's got a nice buffer to the cutoff line, but it's just the Supreme Motorsports cars have been 2 of the hardest workers all season in the 41 and the 39. They've strung together such a
and Quinizo is
season.
out of fuel again. Quinizo also out of fuel. Another Toyota.
And this is gonna hurt the 83 and then the 36 that are stuck with them.
It'll just hurt the 83.
Lizzie West is gonna get going.
Got lucky there. Unfortunate there for the 83. And everybody is gonna come down as expected. Alright, and we're just going to be able to get those wave rounds going since there's already some cars that had pitted. All right, wave rounds are being given out. Basically, 24th on back. A lot of those cars were a lap down or 2 laps down. They're going back around. Here's another issue going on with that 83. They actually got the hood up now on pit road.
And not sure what was going on there. Of course, that's with Rebel Racing. Rebel tries to pride themselves on engines, but of course, for a long time, they've been getting their engines from Redline Racing, who has now moved to Chevrolet under Douglas Motorsports. So that team's trying to do things themselves. It's gone with a little bit of trial and error. They got the big win at Daytona, and they think that Bewley's car may have a better chance today.
So we got
a lot
two
of speed
cars.
out of the 84.
2 cars being towed, 1 car going to the garage. They think it's a misfire on that Ford. And the 2 Toyotas that ran into fuel, one of them that stopped here on the front stretch that caused this yellow. Wave rounds are underway. They are almost all to the front. All right. While that's all happening, we got the 2 slowing up on the front stretch.
I think he's waiting for cars to pass.
Yeah,
for
they're just going to be a little weird. So the race off pit road did go to Ryan DeLusso. So just wait. It's just the AI doing the AI stuff. He'll be moving back up to the front here shortly.
Joshua Lockhart.
Joshua Lockhart getting a wave around. He was 4 laps
He
down.
doesn't need a wave around.
That's FARCA rules. FARCA rules. There we are. All cars waved around. Let's go ahead and give him the signal. Lights on the pace car out, which means we're going to go back to racing this time around. Alright, so DeLusso will be in control of the restart. He's got Adam Douglas right to his outside, and here we are, green flag racing once again. Don't normally do halfway breaks here at these larger tracks, but that will pretty much act like one.
Alyssa got a better start on the restart than Aaron Douglas did on the initial start. He's going to be able to keep the lead.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of mitigating both lanes. Adam going way up the racetrack. Got Langelier behind.
I don't know if that's the right move.
I don't think so either. They're actually going to be 3 wide here coming to the stripe for P2. Make some contact there with Langelier. I don't think Jay was quite aware, but he's going to be kind enough to move down, let the 40 back into the lane. Don't think that was intentional there by Jay. Hasn't been a lot of 3 wide racing this race.
No, but this is a break, or, well, the caution has allowed the 44 car to get up to the top 5. So Deacon Jones is still on the tail end of this group.
So actually, I think at this point, with Brett continuing to climb, this might even be a points lead if we had a PATR. Be curious to see. We'll see after the race results are uploaded, depending on, of course, where they finish. But it'll be interesting to watch and see. 4 races after this will be the remainder of the regular season, which will conclude before we go to Indianapolis and start this chase. We got a really fun schedule. Got Abby Jones there behind the number 69. Up to 8th.
Brett's working with Adam, trying to get to the lead. The smaller group of cars is pulled away from the second half of the leaders.
Rob Kreider's also up in here. In the 8th position. A lot of SS's up here. Chevy has brought a really good plate setup for their cars this weekend.
Yeah, there's another good run out of the Double Nickel 9 team for Rob Kreider.
They had their best finish, and the reason why is they were able to buy a new car. So they're actually...
Jay Langelier got loose.
From what I was told, they purchased a Revolutions Per Motorsport.
Oh.
They're not affiliated with the team, but they are running one of their cars.
Yeah, RPM team is willing to help any of the Chevys that are running. They'll help Douglas Motorsports. They're actively helping Davis Motorsports and Procrastination stay afloat. They're helping Tier 1 Motorsports. Tier 1 Motorsports is their official satellite team. But they try to help all the Chevys around the series because there really isn't much support otherwise for them. As we see, the fours are really... There's kind of handling issue on the 2 and the 9 car on the outside. They're both having repeated issues lap after lap.
Well, as we were talking about
the wrong way.
Across the stripe there, Chevys were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we got the lone car of DeLusso separating this big pack of Chevys that we have up front.
Yeah, Deacon thought about going to help him. Of course, they were teammates earlier this year. The 2 is really loose on exit. And I think that the 9 car is fighting some kind of tight condition in the 9, so they've got opposite ends of the spectrum. The 9 have an issue in the middle of the corner.
And he just washed up right in front of Brett Pritchard, that black number 44, and he's even loose coming off the corner. He jumped down to the second lane there when the rear end came around on him.
You see the 28 car, Deacon Jones, is now up in the top 5 with the rest of the Chevrolets. The 28 was mired back by the Noon Racing cars early in the race.
So where is the nearest Toyota? All the way back in the 18th spot, it's these 2 Western Auto Racing cars working together with an affiliate team and a few other Toyotas behind. They are catching up to this next field, but they have worked their way through the rest of the pack.
I guess they went a lap down, huh? I thought they would stay out.
That's
for
right.
Track position.
So they were actually behind the pack because of the wave rounds that they took. So they started single file behind the pack, but here they are, trying to get it going. Got Lizzie Wesley with them too. They got a couple of really powerful cars back here. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when they catch this main pack, how they're going to interact with cars like the 38, which by the way, is running P3.
Yeah, the 2 RPM cars are hooked up on the outside. Looks like Tier 1's going to join them. It's going to hurt Rob Kreider down the back straight because the 4 of them were going to pull away.
And it is Chevy,
Adam's
Chevy,
gonna
Chevy,
abandon his
Chevy.
teammate. That 40 car is definitely out for himself this race.
And you kind of got to be on these super speedways. It's not, especially at a track like this, it's really hard to plan and work together. It's a very narrow super speedway. We're 3 wide behind, actually. Abby
That's
Jones
Rob
in the center.
McPherson using the middle lane in the 78 car for Douglas Motorsports.
All 3 Douglas Motorsports cars are inside the top 15 right now. The worst one, which is crazy to say, is Arthur Xavier running in the 13th spot. The Camping World 87.
Yeah, we're not quite to lap 100. Once we get to 100, you'll see Arthur Xavier flip the switch and start moving up through the field.
Arthur came up, and he actually used to drive the Camping World 87 Dodge. In the 2019 season, he was a rookie coming out of El Salvador, racing for his own team, Force Salvador. Went into a hiatus, then drove in Team International, and he is now making another full-time season run. It was very impressive in this Team International stint. He decided, you know what, maybe I do belong in the race car still, and he's back.
Yeah, and up front, Rob McPherson's trying to work with the 40 car to get the lead. The 40 had the lead down the back straightaway, but Chris Davis took it back. He's going to still lead that lap. Chris Davis working with Makoto Kino.
I wonder what Abby and Ryan and these 2 affiliated Fords are thinking They got to somehow work together to get around these 6 Chevrolets that are ahead of them. They got
Two
an
cars
army of
still
Fords
really
behind them now.
loose.
It's all
Well,
Ford
the
versus
40's going to
Chevy.
do it by himself. No help down into 3 and 4. I don't think that's going to help the 40 car lead this lap, but he's really trying to do it all by himself.
This is a gauge for the finish. That is what Adam is doing. He is testing the speed of his race car and the aerodynamics of that body to see what he needs to do for the win there. And if that was the last lap, that would have been the win. So that is what
Well,
we just saw out of him.
Yeah, last night you saw the 40 car use the outside lane to wrangle the lead away from the 29 of Connor Muir on the last couple laps and just try to ride the very top of the racetrack to keep any sort of air away from the 40. Was able to get the win there. Looks like he's trying to use the outside one more time on Chris Davis. That 06 car is strong, fastest in practice. We saw the fastest in practice last week. The 28 of Deacon Jones actually had a really strong run. Almost won that race without... Oh, we've got an issue on the 78. But Deacon almost won last week, but lap traffic played a role at Thompson and actually finished third. The 78 car might be having some issues here as we get into the long run.
They're getting real disorganized up in this outer lane, and yeah, some of these cars' handling issues starting to become prevalent. I'm taking a look at my monitor over here on my left side of the screen, and a lot of these cars only took 2 tires. Not very many of them took 4, but of those that did take 4 is Rob Kreider and I want to make sure I get this right here, Deacon Jones, Andy Bewley, and Lizzie Wesley. Not very many 4-tire stops happened on that stop, but maybe that's why we're seeing drivers
trying
like Rob
to work with the 78, trying to make that work, but it's not going quite to their favor this moment. As Ryan DeLusso got hooked up with the 06, didn't quite go the way Chris Davis wanted it to. Relinquished the lead back to the 40 car.
Those are now charging on the inside line, bringing the 38 with him. Chris washes up. That's Hanley coming in. He tries to close the door on Ryan. He can't do it.
Yeah, that 2 car started really loose at the start of the run, so as the cars started to tighten up, the handling's going to go more in the way of Ryan DeLusso.
They're kind of backs off
on the outside.
Slows it up there. I think that might be deliberate.
Yeah, you saw the 3 or 4 cars on the outside work together with the inclusion of Sammy Cobb, the 77 car, using the outside lane.
They're coming up to some lap traffic up ahead. I believe that's the 75 and number 1 of the Lice, the SAR. We'll be seeing them here shortly. Here's goes the 40 to the inside.
The 69 Dylan Touchton using the inside lane to draft up to the 77, who's going to try to follow Brandon Crasta through.
There's that 1 car. It's the SAR. Cobb thought about splitting the 1 going into the entry there, decided not to. And the exact same issue we saw last time. These 2 are not going to be side by side. Blue flags will be displayed this time, going to both drivers.
They should be able to make some kind of work on the 75. So Makoto Kino's going to go to the bottom here.
Adam's going to reel around the outside of that 75 and take DeLusso with him. They'll make some quick headway up to Crasta. Starting to see that pack that had Toyotas involved with it catching up to the field. Highest Toyota now is Justin Franklin in the 12th spot. They're starting to re-enter the picture. There's also Dylan Young, and then a huge group of the Toyotas all back behind here. And they are catching up to the field as well. They're very close to it. Almost
Well,
there.
If they can just stay at the rear, they might be able to save some fuel.
That'll be interesting to see what they say. They are anticipating one more stop for everybody.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think it ends up being a 2-stop for everybody.
And they are working on the outside here at the point. It's been taken back by Adam Douglas. They have a small pack behind. These three, though, might be able to actually maintain some speed if they can stay linked up. Crasta moving out of line. Sorry. DeLucia moving out of line like that isn't going to help them. Because this is now a huge pack behind. Actually, they got separated.
Well, it's going to end up being a huge pack because they're all going to get organized and be able to catch the leaders. Important to note that the 44 car was able to make it up into this pack and make some headway into it, but the 28 is also included in here. The 44 doesn't really have too much speed inside the pack, but is able to use luck and strategy to move up towards it, which is really good for the entire Real Motorsports 44 team.
Still a net gain, which is exactly what he wants to be on track on doing. He's been moving up steadily through the field the past 5 or 6 races or so. And this will continue that charge of the IRM 44. Wild Andy Bealey has appeared once again back into the top 10. Worked her way around Arthur Xavier, 87. Starting to see the Chevys kind of fade out of this thing. They were really strong, but now there's only 4 of them in the top 15 when there was 7.
It's good to see Dylan Young make it up into the top 10, though, in the Nesquik Toyota. We haven't really seen much of Dylan Young this season. He's been historically one of our more consistent top 10 runners.
Huge save out of Justin Franklin on the back of the 4 car. Almost had that thing loop around on him.
Yeah, he's still learning. He's still got a lot to learn, he said himself. But he's still very excited to be in this series, or back in the series. We've seen him running the Pro Series season this year back in his usual 81 machine. Had a rough race last night. But I think once you get into the Premier Series, you'd rather have your bad luck be in the lower series. It's Brad Hughes going a lap down.
Still these 3 up at the front. They got about a second, just over a second, over the pack behind. That's currently being led by Abby Jones
in 4th.
How about that?
Abby Jones in 4th is such a sight to see. What a good, strong run out of that camp for the TBT, Chronic Understeer Motorsports.
So she has a flight out of this track right after we're done. She's heading out to Lanier. And here's the crazy stat about her. She's got a top 5 in every single start in the weekly series. And she's the only driver in that series to have a 100% top 5 finish streak. And it's
a very
pretty much
strong
all
run out of everyone involved.
That both of the TBD drivers will be heading into the truck series. And they have definitely earned it, as that battle, that championship fight between Sean Reeves and Sierra Miller, will be live after the conclusion of this race. we'll get a chance to see who is going to take out that championship. With a scholarship on the line, it's separated by 3 positions. Advantage goes to Sierra Miller in that camp. Big pack now forming up here. This goes all the way down to 15th with Rob Kreider there at the very back of this pack. Lusso and Crasta be fighting up front. They've actually separated themselves off of Adam Douglas's 40. He still has the draft. I think he's just kind of holding back right now. So they're putting Eugene Hawk a lap down. Because that's exactly right. He is timing a pass here is what this looks to be. Making sure he is well aware of the speed of that car. That's very smart to do as we get to the closing stages of this race.
Touching the 32, Marissa Miranda.
All right, we got cars joining up at this pack, and we got 2 Fords and a Chevrolet. Dylan Touchton now goes to the outside, rockets around the 32. He will move to second with the timing of the lap traffic, bringing Abby Jones with him. Abby looking spectacular here, the rookie, and just her second premier start. Up to second now.
Dylan Touchton's going to go for the lead out of turn number 4 on lap 86.
Bringing Abby Jones
is going to follow.
I'm going to keep my eye on this 10 car. She's looking really quick at the ending stages of this race. I like what I'm seeing out of it. She's being smooth, picking her passes correctly. What a win would that be for the rookie on just her second start. Goes for the race lead now, looking to the outside of Touchton's number 69. This will be a proud moment for Tom Jones and Todd Brad Development as their car now leading. Of course, this is a car built by Chronic Understeer, but it's an affiliation of Tom Brad Development. Gotta love seeing that. Connor Mears entered into pit lane.
Must be Toyota time.
No, he's got a tire down. Connor's got a tire down. He is on pit road. That will bring out the yellow. Right side tires replaced. Had a right front tire failure. We saw a lot of cars overheating that in the Pro Series race. That was what was also causing the wash issue. I think he's going to go a lap down here as a result of this as well. That's going to be an unfortunate time for Connor. We're starting the back of the pack. I don't think there's enough time. Looks like everybody is going to be bringing their stuff down. Car to watch, Abby Jones had the race lead at the time of the caution. This is going to be a really important pit stop for the pit crew. They are not a full-time pit crew, so it's going to be crucial here to see what kind of times they can produce. Gas and go for Abby Jones. No tires. Crowded pit road. And the first one off. What a call. Arthur Xavier does the same thing. Gas and go. 2 tires for Sammy Cobb in the 77. Same thing for Dylan Touchton. Gas and go for Brett Pritchard. He makes up some track position. 2 tires for Adam Douglas in the 40. I don't think we saw any 4-tire stops here. We have one, Brandon Crasta, in the 63, 4-tire pit stop. But of course that drops him down all the way to the 20th position. Interesting call to see out of the Crasta machine. We'll see what they end up doing. Everybody else, though, is either gas and go or tires. Noah Patwary, actually, Reckless Racing, 4-tire pit stop. All right, well, there's that second stop. And they are going to... I think they're able to. Yeah, they can wave around the 29. We'll be starting at the back of the pack. Got a few others as well. All right, all of the single laps cars are going to be the ones receiving a wave around here. All right, so getting to the end of this thing, I'm still pretty confident in my pick of the 69 car, although Abby Jones is very much so a threat. What are you thinking?
Oh, I picked the 40 at the start of the race.
Right.
I think that the 63's got some speed. We're going to have to... There's quite a few cars who really could make it happen, but I think that we're going to see a Chevrolet.
You think the 63 could? He's back down in the 30th position with that 4-tire stop they elected to do.
Yeah, I think the 4 tires was the right way to go. They just have to make it through the field. I mean, his teammate Lizzie Wesley did the same strategy call, so he's going to have help.
Reason why I'm really going to stick with my guns here and pick Dylan Tutchin is he was the first car out of pit road with a 2-tire stop along with Sammy Cobb. I don't agree with taking fuel only, and I'm kind of surprised that Abby Jones' crew did. Yes, they got her out right away, but man, those right fronts, they're going to be killed. We just had a tire go down too, so that's an interesting call to see.
Yeah, but I think that they're looking at the manufacturer and they're thinking, oh, we're not Toyota, we're not going to have
that's also
issues.
very true. I think that was the last car yet. Well timed there by the FARCA officials. Lights on the pace car out. We'll be going green flag racing next time around. We'll be restarting on lap 92 out of 117. So we'll have 25 laps here for the end of the race. All cars should be good to go on the end. All right, here we go. .40 cars on the lead lap. Abby Jones controls the field. Her first restart she's in control of. Gets a good one too. Looks to make that easy move in front of the 87. That was crucial before for Ryan when he controlled the restart. Xavier looks to that outside. Last time he led a race was with the Team International crew. Nearly won Michigan. Led so many laps. See what he can do this time. Chevrolet back out to the point. And then it's going to be overshadowed by Dylan Tutchin. It's an IRM 1-2. And Deacon Jones trying to extend his regular season points lead. Brett Pritchard not too far behind. And it's all back once again. This time it's a majority Ford controlled race. Half of your top 5, over half of your top 10, all Ford. As Yoakum now will lead his first lap of the race. Rob McPherson behind. Deacon Jones contemplating making it 3 wide. Rob Kreider looking aggressive with the number 40. Don't look now, but the 97, your pole sitter, starting to climb up. Andrew Weisbecker is your first Toyota. He's on the outside lane behind the 87. Now, we've seen this so many times in closing stages of the race where the IRM Fords get linked up, and they got a command on the field right now. There's one man who is frustrated regardless because of the situation. That's the team owner. I'm sure Brett, he wants to be in front of that 28 at all costs. And Yoakum's looking like McDowell did at Daytona. He's just got a nice buffer ahead of the field. He can just switch to whatever lane he wants to work in. That car looks strong. Goes his teammate. I say that, and man, he just lost a head of steam.
Yeah, the Chevys are really trying to push Rob McPherson up there. It looks like the 28 had an issue momentarily there on the outside lane. Got disconnected from the 78.
Chevrolets are absolutely starting to cook something up here. It's Adam Douglas, Deacon Jones, Rob Kreider, Arthur Xavier, and Chris Davis, all behind Rob McPherson. We got one lone Toyota peeking its way into the top 10. That's a 41 still in that outside lane, trying to work with the 87. And now Aaron's going to swoop in, move up to 9th. Abby Jones right behind. Brett Pritchard now starting to really enter the picture into this top 10.
Yeah, the outside lane's going to get some momentum now that they've gotten the 2 Douglas Motorsports cars out of the lead. It seems like they were parachuting them.
Look at
77
Aaron
cars a lot faster.
following his brother's teammates, team cars. They're on the outside lane, as you were mentioning. Sammy Cobb, the Elite 77. I don't think they've been to victory lane yet this season. Trying to do it for the first time. Fact checking myself on this. He has not. He's had 3 top 10s, 2 top 5s, no poles, no wins. But he's 9th in points. He's trying to get something done here tonight. He's rocking that outside lane. Oh, looking like 3 wide. Eugene trying to say, like, hey, let's go, let's go. Sorry, Adam trying to say, let's get a move on now. Get that lane form back up. Almost contact between Rob and Sammy Cobb. They're starting to really turn it
The
up.
inside lane isn't really formed up. I don't know how Tungsten is being
it's
able
Rob.
to keep the lead.
Rob's struggling. He can't. He doesn't have the horsepower. Deacon moves down to try and make up for it, though. Chevys are all moving down to the inside lane now, but they've left the 40 up there. But he's got his brother behind, at least. Another Toyota moving up. That's still Andrew Weisbecker at Supreme Motorsports. We saw his fantastic run at Las Vegas. Supreme dominated Las Vegas. We say that, and that race, yes, was won by Andrew Weisbecker. Man, oh man, that 69 car is bad fast. Taking a look back at Daytona, that was also a Ford-dominated race in terms of laps led and who was at the front of the point. Andy Bewley, who had just won there, and the IRM driver for Austin Yoakum, who sits in the 6th spot right now. He got the pole. And immediately now to the point goes to the number 40 Chevrolet. 15 to go at the line. And Rob is struggling. He just does not have the speed or the control of that race car. It's going to bog that outside lane once again. on board with Austin Yoakum.
Team tucking in behind the 28 of Deacon Jones through 3 and 4. Lost a little bit of time to him. Just going to try to get a run off the corner. Going to try to suck back up into the 28. Getting help from the 41 of Andrew Weisbecker. It takes a village. You have to find the energy to be able to move up.
Yeah, that was a thing that
all
was
the right cars
called out so many times during the Pro Series race. It's momentum racing. It's not a drafting track. It's a momentum track. You have to really make sure you keep your car slung up, keep it up to speed, pick the right lanes at the right time. That's how it works around this place. It's a little bit different than the conventional super speedways. And we're not seeing any alliances right now at the point. Everyone now is for themselves, trying to get their best possible position, put their car in the right spot. DeLusso now looks low. Goes to the inside of Sammy Cobb, who is now being pushed by his car owner. One of the reasons you could see that middle lane starting to drift up a bit, they're trying to take as much wheel as they can out of it. Less turned in, it could turn into less speed going down the straightaways. Now we were counting out Rob, but he's holding on strong. He's still got second place here. It's Chevy 1-2 as DeLusso looks to the inside.
Here's Chris Davis joining the battle. We saw the 06 and the 40 earlier in the race. Of course, the 06 got swapped out for the 63 late. Grass is still mired back in the 25th position at the moment.
Yeah, I was really worried about him taking that 4-tire pit stop. It's actually been a little bit better for Lizzie Wesley. She's in the picture now, so I guess keep an eye on Lizzie Wesley. Actually, I gotta, yeah, no, she took 2 tires. The other 4-tire pit stop car was Noah Patwery. He's at the back of this pack, but the car doesn't look that quick.
Yeah, really loose out of the 26. We've seen that with multiple Fords.
Rob McPherson leads that lap there in the Douglas Motorsports Chevrolet. Douglas Motorsports hasn't been to victory lane yet this season. I'm sure they would love to see one of their cars in their stylized equal scheme. Checker flag on the cars resembling the logo. DeLusso now looks to the inside.
I think Ryan might be able to get this lap. No, the 40 got it out from under him. 2/100ths of a second separated that. Aaron's now switched to the inside lane. Doesn't like how the momentum is running on the outside. Trying to see what he can do there now. Still only 2 Chevys up in this running field. Franklin hasn't moved up into the top 15 yet. We haven't seen much of anybody else. Connor, after the flat tire, though, has re-entered into the top 30. He's got a good buffer, but I know he's not going to be happy with that position. Ryan should be able to keep the lead this time. Looks like Sammy Cobb might be trying to go to the outside.
Yeah, Cobb's got a really fast machine. Also another driver who surprisingly hasn't had as good of a year as before. But they got a new sponsor and hoping to see if they can get some better results. Bryson left the team and Loves footed the bill. Pole sitter Aaron Douglas there in 4th. Now 3rd, trying to move up. We'll see these two Douglas brothers work together time and time again. It looks like Adam's going to move down and work with that 97 car as he is now trying to get to the bottom of Chris Davis in the 06. We're coming down to the closing laps. It's about to really get crazy up here. We've got all 3 manufacturers, 1, 2, and 3 right now. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota. It is Davis, DeLusso, and Douglas. And DeLusso really timing running that inside lane. He's getting things figured out. I would be worried if I was a car trying to pass him on the outside. Sammy Cobb surrenders right here. Now looks to the inside, gets blocked by the 97. Have him trying to side draft there off his teammate. Side drafting worked, got around him, defended his own position. Here comes Andy Bealey, your Daytona winner. Can't you go back to back on super speedways? Here goes the 40. Can he sweep the weekend?
Lizzie Wesley is pushing the 40 up. Now the Douglas brothers are connected on the outside.
Oh, you don't want to see that if you're on the inside lane. Here they go to the outside. Aaron making that momentum run here, and it's going to work. They get around the 77. 36 now pushing the 77 into the corner. Ryan's got no help, but the draft is going to save him. That was a good chance there. It was a good try. But they'll have to be better formed up if they want to make another run. 2 Fords and a Chevy. Bealey pushing the 40 on the inside. 3 to go at the line. DeLusa leads still. Aggressive blocking all around. Here comes Lizzie Wesley. The Procrastination 33, Boeing 36. Crash has actually gone all the way up to the 18th spot. He was mired back in the low 20s. It's a little too late, though. Remember, no green-white checkers. A caution here ends the race. 2 to go. It's still DeLuso. Sammy Cobb found some speed. Good timing here for these 3 drivers. Right behind them. Don't count out Deacon Jones either. Sammy's going to have a good run here. 40 trying to side draft. Might pull him back. 1 to go. We got lap traffic coming up in the way. This could cause some serious issues for our race leader. They got to pick and choose smart. Oh, once again, it's the Noon Racing cars. DeLuso is going to be used as a pick by the 77. The 40 follows. Sammy Cobb in turns 3 and 4 may have this all wrapped up. 40 goes to the outside.
Oh, Douglas is going to try the outside. I don't know if he's going to have momentum there.
He's not.
The lapped cars.
The Ford held. Cobb at the line. Sammy Cobb returns to victory lane. And Revolutions Per Motorsport is 2nd and 3rd. DeLuso finishing 4th. Andy Bealey gets another Super Speedway top 5. Fastest in practice, Chris Davis finishes 6th. Wesley 7th. Your pole sitter finishes 8th. It's Makoto Kino. And how about Abby Jones finishing in the top 10 after leading laps? What a drive. This is going to be a fantastic race car driver. Unofficial race results. Here's the rest of what your top 10 looks like.
Oh, big congratulations to Sammy Cobb and the Nexus Racing team being able to get their first win of the season. Sammy Cobb originally joined FARCA with Standard Racing. Standard Racing went bankrupt. They were, of course, the Toyota team numbered 6, and they were acquired by the Nexus Racing team, and they wanted to keep Sammy Cobb as the driver. And they replaced, I think Luis Hernandez was in the 77 at the time.
And it must be something to do with Sammy Cobb and running here at the super speedways, because the last time he won was at Daytona International Speedway in 2024 when we had 50 cars enter the race, and he was the one who won. That was the Pepsi 197 of 2024. He led only 2 laps, and guess what he did tonight? Only 2 laps.
Yeah, it's about on brand for that team. They're not always running up front, kicking all the doors down, but they're always around when it counts. They really want to try to make a championship run this year. They haven't really had the speed yet, but they're hoping that they can get things turned around as we head into the money races.
There is the rest of your top 40. Now, Brett Pritchard there is going to lose a good amount of points on Deacon Jones. Not to his liking.
I think the biggest surprise is Connor Meir, who is still third in points, but it's not going to be that way leaving here. I think Andrew Weisbecker is going to get a good jump on the cars around him.
All right, well, this is going to be set up here while I go ahead and get these results uploaded so I can give out any points or any other potential penalties. So cars are now making their way to the garage, and they have a FARCA official standing in each race car's garage who will begin going over plugging in electronics, scanning the body, and checking anything else on the inside of the car. This is just to look for any sort of malpractice. That was a pretty good race, all things considered.
Yeah, it had a lot of comers and goers. A lot of different drivers at different points in time having speed and momentum here. And then it came out with a surprise winner who looked strong all race, but there were periods of time throughout the event where Sammy Cobb in the 77 didn't really have the handling they were looking for, but they certainly had it when it mattered most.
And one of the big things, too, about this, I have to say, we are 12 races into the season. Halfway through this season, no repeat winners. We've had 12 different winners across 12 races. That is a new record according to FARCA. We always joke about how it takes forever for a repeat winner to happen this season. This is the first time it has gone on this long. No penalties given out. All FARCA officials have declared that all teams are good. Everybody is in good standing. We're heading out to the point standings here, and it's now a 32-point lead for Deacon Jones in the regular season championship. Andrew Weisbecker has actually caught up to Brett Pritchard, who is now behind him by 5 points in the championship. Aaron, don't forget, gets a bonus point for that pole position. There's not many drivers who have repeat poles this season. There are 3 of them, with 2. It's Austin Yoakum and Lizzie Wesley. And Aaron now has 3 in the season. So he's either starting off way off in the back or is on pole position, but still does not have the elusive win and sits 4th in points. And how about your race winner, Sammy Cobb? Goes up from 9th to 8th in points with that win. And I don't want to say he's locked in as there's still 4 more races to go, but over the buffer, he's got about 43 points, or 40 points clear of the bubble. So he is good. And Ryan DeLusso, who missed the race at the start of the season, is now inside. He has bumped Dylan Touchton outside of the bubble, which is separated by a whopping 10 points between 11th to 17th. That top 14 is what we're going to be looking at. So a couple positions between these drivers, and that's whether being you're in, making a run for the championship, or you're out. And even though Touchton had a great run today, it was a little bit better for Ryan DeLusso, and he's now in, as well as Tim Salmon. Krasta also got bumped out. Chris Davis is now in the picture. A couple more good race weekends for Chris Davis, and he could be fighting for a championship. All right, we're going to end this off here. So you will see the stream itself will close, but if you leave it up in about 15 minutes time, we will be live once again for the championship race for the mini stocks. So we'll see you guys here in, yep, about 10-15 minutes.